Hello, in this video we are going to cover inheritance. Inheritance is a process of inheriting values from the parent class to the child class. So let's get started by creating several classes. We're going to create a class called monster, and we will create two more classes. So we're going to, I spelled monster wrong. So we'll also have a magical monster, and physical monster. Now, let's assume for the sake of this video that every monster does some kind of a damage, and they all have a name. So they would have a string with a name, monster, they would have int, normal damage, and that could be like 10, and then they would have an attack function, which would say count you attacked a player. Like this. So this is what every monster would do. However, magical monsters and physical monsters would differ, as a magical monster would not have normal damage, it would have int magical damage, for example. And it would also have int magical resistance. Whereas the physical one would be just the opposite of that. So that would be physical damage and physical resistance. Now, right now what we have is we have three separate classes. There's no inheritance going on. So if we just quickly type in monster to get reference to our monster, then we see that we have the attack, the name, and normal damage, right? So in order to inherit this, what we would just do is we would put the double dots, type in public, and we would inherit from the monster. So if we do that for both physical and magical monster, we now see that if we make a instance of magical monster and an instance of physical monster, we notice that they have their own variables, which is the magical damage, the magical resistance, but they also have the normal damage, the name, and the attack function. So if we try calling the attack function, we'll see that we've attacked the player with the magical monster because it's inheriting everything that's in here. Now, aside from that, so in C++ you can inherit more than one class. So if we type in a Hibderet monster, so it's going to be a monster that inherits from physical and magical monster because it can do both magical and physical damage. So just write public physical monster, and we'll put a comma. Oh, that's right, it's a class. And then we'll do magical monster here. And then we could have something like, so let's just leave it at that. So now if we make an instance of a hybrid monster, and we put hybrid monster, we see that now it has access to both classes. So what we did here is we essentially have the parent class, which is our base class, which is monster. And then we have the child, which is our physical and magical monsters. And then we have a child of that, which is going to be the hybrid monster. So you can make a lot of like tree-like behavior on these using inheritance, and that saves you from reusing values.